Hello, it's me, and today I'll be doing a review on my MFS-3 Kiryu Mechagodzilla model kit. Now, this isn't the Monster Arts because that's too expensive, but this one is just as good, and I would recommend it. So, before I get into the figure, I'll start with the box, as usual. This is giant, but it's got a very nice picture of Kiryu on the front. Got his missiles and his backpack and everything. On the on there, it's got another picture of Kiryu's head and some Japanese, which I can't understand. More Japanese, plain cardboard bottom, and more Kiryu. And this is a model kit, so you'll have to... It does look quite scary once you open it, because it's all of these parts, and it does have one floppy bit for like the tubes and stuff. But it was actually surprisingly easy to make, because you don't need any super glue to stick it together. All you really need is some clippers to snip them off, and that's it, because all of it sort of sticks together like Lego, and it's really simple. But yeah, it is quite intimidating when you first open the box. But the reason I really wanted this guy is because Kiryu is my favourite Mechagodzilla. I really love the design of him. I think it looks amazing. And also I really like his Absolute Zero and all the different weapons he has. But after you've made this, you need to put on the decals, which are like all the little stickers and stuff. I tried to do them, but they fell off straight away, basically. I left them to dry, they just fell off. A much easier way to actually get them on would be to just paint them on, because the way I did these are 3D, so you can feel this one. And all I did is I got a scalpel blade, put a bit of red paint on the top, and just brushed it over the top of that, and it looks perfect. And with this, the front of his head, so you can take this bit and this bit off when you're assembling it. And I just painted that bit red behind it and put it on after it had dried, and it looks actually quite good. I painted those on, the little black bits, and these, because these were the easiest, because these are actually indented into it. So all you need to do is just put a bit of paint over it. It doesn't matter how neat it is. Get your thumb and just rub it off, and it only leaves it in the crack. And it actually worked quite well. But a piece that I actually missed whilst I was making it is these little elbow bits. So that's how I had it in the stop motion, because only afterwards I found out that you had to put these bits in. And there's also these little tubes here. I don't know if you can see them for the legs, which I missed out. But it is basically just an SH Monster Arts. Exactly, basically. I did have to super glue these bits together because they kept just breaking apart. But the detail's really good. Like, some people probably won't buy this just because they want it already painted, and it is quite time consuming to put it together. Well, actually no, it isn't. It's only took me about 2 hours ish to completely finish it. But before I go into the articulation, I'll do the accessories, and I'll start with all his weapons. So he's got these little side, I think they're wrist mazers, I can't remember what they're called. But there's a little circle bit on the bottom there, and then you just put it into that hole there. Make sure it's on nicely. Then that little bit on the end, make sure not to snip that off as well, because I almost did. And you just put it into that little hole, and it's on perfectly. And now you do it again with this arm, very simple. You don't actually need to put any paint on the wrist mazes, they're very just plain. And the backpack is very nice. I really like this one, and I did paint these two on as well just because they were too hard. And these, I just put a brush over the top of them. But the way you put this on, because as you can see, he's got dorsal plates there, so how does it stay on? What you do is you take off the top 3 dorsal plates. Be careful with them because they're in 2 separate pieces that you just put together. Then it's got 3 little points there, which you then make sure they're lined up properly, and then you put them on, and he's ready to fight Godzilla. Which I really like this version of Kiryu because there's 2. This is the 2002 and there's a 2003, which has different backpack and stuff. I think this looks better, honestly, than the 2003 one. But for the wrist mazes, they have 2 accessories for them, which is the little guns. So there's 2 for each one, which you take the little ones out, which is a bit annoying. You take these out, there, you take it out, and then you put the big ones in like he's shooting. So I guess you'd have these first, and if you're in a stop motion, I didn't do it because I didn't have a lot of time to do the stop motion, but I am still pleased with it, is you put these in, then when he shoots, I can't remember if these are like bullets, they go pew pew pew, or it's just a straight laser. I don't really know, but you could have that and then put that one back in, and it would be like he's shooting. And he's got his swords, which are actually quite sharp, and you can have, they're optional, so you don't have to have them in there, but I quite like them. And these bits move up and down. And another really nice accessory, which I'm glad they included, are his rage mode eyes, which is, because this Mechagodzilla is built on top of the skeleton of the 1954 Godzilla. This guy is built over the top of his skeleton from the first film, and he gets a flashback to when he was Godzilla, and he starts destroying Tokyo because he remembers that he was a giant monster. These do come out occasionally, but they're easy to put back in. So then he he remembers he's the Godzilla and starts properly tearing apart Tokyo. Another strange accessory which he has are hands. So you'd expect him to have open hands and closed hands. Nope, he has open hands and ever so slightly more open hands, like a millimeter more open, basically. It's barely anything. So they're optional, you can put either one on, but I don't really see the difference between them. Another nice thing are his rockets under here. So you put these on, so they come like that, and there's a tiny hole inside there, and you just pop it in. Be careful with this, I don't know, that might snap. And then you can have him with all his jets out with the fire flying towards Godzilla. Unfortunately, this might put quite a few people off. He doesn't scale very well with any Godzillas. Maybe some of the larger ones, like the monsterarts Shin Godzilla, I don't know. But as you can see, this is an average NECA Godzilla. He is much taller, unfortunately. But I can't remember if he's taller or not, because it is his skeleton with armor over the top, so I don't really know whether he should be bigger or not. But he comes with some really good accessories. Can't really think of anything else that you need with Kiryu. Except maybe a blast effect, just as an optional thing, maybe. I don't know. But the reason I said it's like a monster art is because of the articulation, mostly. Because in the neck, I think there's 3 ball joints, so you can get a good amount of movement. You can look that far down, that far up, so you can get an amazing roaring pose. You can look left to right, not very far with the big back cannons. Jaw is on a hinge, so you can open that wide and closed, and he's got a nice closed bit there so you don't see his teeth. These are on hinges, so they just go up and down, so you can have them deactivated like that, which looks quite nice. The shoulders are ball joints, so they can go all the way around, about that far out and that far in. Elbows are double hinge, so you get a good amount of movement there. Wrists are ball joints, so they can go all the way around and a bit of a wiggle to them. Same on both arms. For the absolute zero cannon, it's hinges, so you can open them up like that, which looks really nice. I did paint this black. It's very simple. You just paint it black with acrylic and then put it in. So when you first get it, it's the same grey colour. But that's nice. And then it's got a ball joint up there and a ball joint down there. So you can get some good movement in that. Getting to lean forward and backwards, which is nice. Nice side to side movement as well. Then for the legs, ball joint, so you can go that far out, that far in, about that far back, and that far forward, so you can get a good kick. Knees are hinges, so you can go that far forward, that far back. And the kneecaps here are on a hinge, so when you have the leg open like that, you can move it down so it looks a bit better-ish, I guess. The feet don't have a lot of movement. They've got a bit of a hinge, swivel hinge-ish. I think it is. I can't remember. Yeah, it's a swivel hinge. Then these are a bit on a bit of a wiggle. And down the tail, there are ball joints. In here, the black bits are rubber and the rest are just bits that you just plop together. And these are all ball joints in here. So you can get it that far up and all the way around. It does occasionally pop out, but it's easy to put back in. So you can have it go all the way under and all the way left and all the way right. Unfortunately, it does still have some little weird bits under here which don't look very nice. But honestly, if you like Kiryu Mechagodzilla, I'd recommend this if you can't find an amazing deal for the monster arts, just because it scales a bit better. Because unfortunately, he doesn't scale very well with any figures. Maybe some monster arts. I don't really know if it will, but some of the little bits do occasionally pop out if you move some parts too far one way. But yeah, also I forgot to say these little bits are on ball joints, they can move around, and these are swivels. But I absolutely love Kiryu. He's amazing. And I would recommend this figure to people who are just a hardcore fan of Kiryu if you can't find the monster arts. But yeah, that about does it for this review. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.